Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Mic check check check. Sounds good to me. Huh? Check 1 2. Check. Okay.
Checking the mic. La 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 la. We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free. Where
The back of my shirt. Is it on? Oh, I can hear it. Okay. Because it's, oh. Good morning, everyone. Come on into church. It's time to gather in. chalice. Okay. All right, everyone. Good morning. Let's do it louder. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Chattanooga. I am the Reverend Mandy Goheen. My pronouns are she, her, and it is my deep honor to serve this congregation, and even better to welcome you here today for our in-gathering celebration. Our opening words are by Gregory Pelly called Thirsty. And so we gather from the ebb and the flow of our lives, thirsty for connections to ourselves, thirsty for connections to others, thirsty for connections to the larger life. As we light the chalice in a moment, may all who gather here be filled with joy and hope, filled with compassion and love. Here may we be filled so that we may pour ourselves out into the world. And I would like to invite Reverend Pam Johnson, our community minister, up to light our chalice. And please join me in our chalice lighting words found in the order of service. I didn't light a match, so she's going to do it the old-fashioned way. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Our opening song is number 100. I invite you to rise in body and spirit, both at home and here, to join us in hymn number 100 in the gray hymnal. Thank you, and please be seated. This is the time in our service where we do a story for all ages. This is a multi-generational service. So we're going to have some activities and some young folks in the sanctuary the whole time, and I'll try to be entertaining the whole time. Good luck. But I'd like to introduce Camille Mason, our Director of Religious Education, and she'll be sharing a story. Everyone young at heart or just feeling like sitting on the floor, you're invited to come forward so that you can see the pictures and enjoy the story. And there's going to be painting, so you ought to really come up. So, all right. Nope. Turn on the switch. Okay.
Am I on now?
Yes. I really don't think that's on. Yep.
Hello? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
All right, well, good morning. I'm excited to share this book with you all. It's called Each Kindness, and this book is very special to my heart because when I graduated from college to become a teacher, my parents gifted me this book, and they gifted it to me because they wanted me to spread kindness, just like what we're going to learn about in this book, okay? So it's special to me because my parents gave it to me in a very special time in my life. So this book is called Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson, and it's illustrated by E.B. Lewis. That winter, snow fell on everything, turning the world a brilliant white. One morning, as we settled into our seats, the classroom door opened, and the principal came in. She had a girl with her, and she said to us, "This is Maya." Maya looked down at the floor. I think I heard her whisper, "Hello." We all stared at her. Her coat was open, and the clothes beneath it looked old and ragged. Her shoes were spring shoes, not meant for the snow. A strap on one of them had broken. Our teacher, Miss Albert, said, "Say good morning to our new student," but most of us were silent. The only empty seat was next to me. That's where our teacher put Maya. And on that first day, Maya turned to me and smiled, but I didn't smile back. I moved my chair, myself, and my books a little farther away from her. And when she looked my way, I turned to the window and stared out at the snow. How do you think that maybe makes Maya feel? Sad? Okay. How would it make you feel? Yeah. Okay. If you came to a new school, what would you want people, how would you want people to treat you? What do you think, Autumn? Okay. Yeah, for somebody to be nice to you, to open their arms to you. And every day after that, when Maya came into the classroom, I looked away and didn't smile back. My best friends that year were Kendra and Sophie. At lunchtime, we walked around the schoolyard, our fingers laced together, whispering secrets into each other's ears. One day, while we were near the slide, Maya came over to us. She held open her hand to show us the shiny jacks and tiny red ball she'd gotten for her birthday. "It's a high bouncer," she said, but none of us wanted to play, so Maya played a game against herself. You might not know what jacks is, but it's a little game that looks like this. It has a little ball. Have you played that before? That's awesome. That afternoon, when we got back into the classroom, Maya whispered to me, "Bet you can't guess who the new Jacks champion of the world is." Behind me, Andrew whispered, "Chloe's got a new friend. Chloe's got a new friend." "She's not my friend," I whispered back. The weeks passed. Every day we whispered about Maya, laughing at her clothes, her shoes, the strange food she brought for lunch. Some days Maya held out her hand to show us what she'd brought to school: a deck of cards, pick-up sticks, a small tattered doll. and whenever she asked us to play, we said no. The days grew warmer and warmer. The pond thawed, and grass began growing where snow had once been. One day, Maya came to school wearing a pretty dress and fancy shoes. But the shoes and dress looked like they belonged to another girl before Maya. I have a new name for her, Kendra whispered. Never knew. Everything she has came from a second-hand store. We all laughed. Maya stood by the fence. She was holding a jump rope but did not come over to us to ask if we wanted to play. After a while, she folded it double, rolled the ends around each hand, and started jumping. She jumped around the whole schoolyard without stopping. She didn't look up once, just jumped, jumped, jumped. The next day, Maya's seat was empty. In class that morning, we were talking about kindness. Mrs. Albert had brought a big bowl into class and filled it with water. We all gathered around her desk and watched her drop a small stone into it. Tiny waves rippled out, away from the stone. This is what kindness does, Mrs. Albert said. Each little thing we do goes out like a ripple into the world. Then Miss Albert let us drop the stone in, as we told her what kind things we had done. Joseph had held the door for his grandmother. Kendra helped change her baby brother's diaper. Ever mean old Andrew had done something. I carried the teacher's books up the stairs, he said. And Mrs. Albert said it was true. I stood there, holding Mrs. Albert's rock in my hand, silent. Even small things count, Mrs. Albert said gently. But I couldn't think of anything, and passed the stone on. Maya didn't come to school the next day, or the day after that. Each morning, I walked to school slowly, hoping this would be the day that Maya returned and she'd look at me and smile. And I promised myself that this day, I would smile back. Each kindness, Miss Albert had said, makes the whole world a little better. But Maya's seat remained empty. And one day, Mrs. Albert announced to the class that Maya wouldn't be coming back. Her family had to move away, Miss Albert said. And then she told us to take out our notebooks, that it was time for spelling. That afternoon, I walked home alone. When I reached the pond, my throat filled with all the things I wished I would have said to Maya, each kindness I had never shown. I threw small stones into it over and over, watching the way the water rippled out and away, out and away. Like each kindness, done and not done, like every girl somewhere holding a small gift out to someone, and that someone turning away from it. I watched the water ripple as the sun set through the maples, and the chance of a kindness with Maya became even more and more forever gone. So that's the end of our story. What do you think the little girl learned about kindness in our story? What do you think? Oh, I love that. David said the reaction can be, or the action can be small, but the reaction can be big, right? So even a smile or being welcoming to someone when they're new can make a huge difference, or playing with someone when they ask, do you want to play with me? All right, so we're going to get to do a little activity where we drop stones into the water, and you're going to get to share something kind that you've done. So while we get ready, I want you to be thinking about what's something kind that you've done. It could be something small, like holding the door or helping your mom with the dishes. How have you done something kind?
helping my friend get his Minecraft account set up.
Helping get a Minecraft account set up is important work. And can be very annoying. So, yes, yes.
And then you can drop it into the water.
All right, who's next?
Saying sorry for even the smallest misunderstandings.
Saying sorry for even the smallest misunderstandings. That's amazing. I love that one too. You're going to take my job, David. Anybody else? You coming, Autumn? Oh, you? Okay, come on. I like how you spell your name. What kindness did you do?
Cuddling with my mommy.
Oh, coloring with my mommy. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Who's next? All right.
Doing the dishes for my mom.
I love it when someone does the dishes. Yeah. All right, you ready? Anyone else? Okay, come on.
Doing the dishes with my mom as well.
Yeah, dishes are awesome.
I was kind to my sister and I played with her in the car in the past.
Yeah, playing with your little sister, that takes a lot of kindness. Because sometimes. Well, wait, don't go anywhere yet. We have more. Oh, there's so much more. Look at you all. So first of all, do you want to talk about what they get to do while they're waiting for all the grown-ups to do their thing? Awesome. So did anybody notice about the water? Was there very much water in there? Oh, wait, I'm using two microphones here. Was there very much water in there? No, there wasn't. So were the ripples very big? How could we make the ripples bigger? By putting more water in it. What a great transition to the next stop. So will you talk about what they're going to do while we put some more water in here and then try this again?
Absolutely. So all children, anybody who would like to, is welcome to come out. Up here, we have watercolors and paper if you'd like to do some watercolors.
Water. So there has been a tradition in Unitarian Universalists since the age of 1980 of having an in-gathering water communion. And what that means has meant in the past and what it means today is a little bit different. People are invited to bring their water forward, and we gather water to use to bless our year. Next week there will be an opportunity for you to take some back with you home. But today we're gathering it so that we can make some bigger ripples in the water with kindness. If you didn't bring water today, that's all right. We have a pitcher of water, which is helpful. And I'd love to invite people as our prayer and our hope for this community to come forward and speak a word of kindness or hope for what this water will bring to the community in the coming year. When this originated, women had come from 4 directions and brought water to a meeting in 1980. And somehow, like lighting the chalice, it just kind of caught on and became part of who we were, part of Unitarian Universalism. So we call it in-gathering. It's kind of our homecoming, our big celebration of coming back together in the fall and reflecting on what our hopes are for the year and how we'll use this water for kindness and bravery. So I invite anyone up who has brought water and or would like to pour some water in the pitcher and speak just 3 to 5 words about what your hopes are for this water. Okay. Can we have some dingly watery music? We didn't really plan this, but it seems important. Just lights, so Nicholas. A little pitcher? Yeah. Okay.
I am just looking so forward to our church refilling again this year as we put aside some COVID stuff. And I'm seeing it more and more every day.
Peace.
Compassion.
This represents continuity. This is water I saved from our flower communion. I put my flowers from flower communion in this water, and I saved it from spring. So it's just my hopes that all of our wonderful traditions will continue in the next year.
This is water, but I'm hoping for less garbage. So take your garbage to the dump.
I do. I thought he was going to cheat.
This just represents water from our new home.
More sharing.
More sharing.
That's rainwater, and I hope we can refresh each other like rain.
Water from the Athabasca Glacier in Western Canada, where Judy and I were with others this summer. And I treasure that this church is a green sanctuary, and we're trying.
Lost track.
Well, I forgot my water, so I'm hopeful that we will reignite our activism in a troubled world.
To resilience.
I just love you guys. So good, so nice to be here. Yeah.
For us all, renewal, spiritual growth, and healing, body, mind, and spirit.
Just pour a little bit. Just pour some water in. You can put it around you too.
Basically ditto for healing.
A wish that we will always have
hard conversations with love.
For collaborative impact.
Happiness.
Okay. Just like, give me the microphone.
Love.
Love.
Just returned from Concord, Massachusetts trip with my old college roommates, and it was steeped in the revolutionary history, and I think about saving our democracy.
Blessing of the Water by Renoir Hamy. This water is sacred. It is made sacred by the many hands that have poured it with intention and love, the many stories that each drop contain, the many lives surrounding it in this unique moment, connected by a commitment and faith. This water is sacred. May it continue to flow through this community with shining reflections of unique gifts that have flow through each of its members. Please respond, this water is sacred. This water is sacred. May it continue to nurture this community with sustaining hope that we journey together through ripples and growth and change. This water is sacred. May it continue to bless the community with loving reminder of our collective responsibility to one another and the world. This water is sacred. May its ripples be a reminder that the changes and growth within this community bring movement and transformation to the world beyond our doors. This water is sacred. May its purity offer grace to our community and the willingness to forgive ourselves and one another when we make mistakes. This water is sacred. In moments when we are confused or uncertain, may it bring us clarity of purpose and commitment. This water is sacred. In moments when the reservoirs of our heart and spirit are drained by sorrow and pain, may it nourish them with the knowledge that we are surrounded by the deep and abundant love. This water is sacred. How will we use our gathered water? First of all, David, could you drop another rock in the water for me? There's a lot more. You have pretty good philosophical understanding of water today, so tell me what happens. What's different about the ripples? Go. Was it bigger or smaller? Yes. 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 Bigger. Okay. Sometimes in Unitarian Universalism, when we're asked a confusing question, we just say yes, because we're pretty open to lots of interpretations. So thank you. So courage is what I'm hoping that this water brings to this community, and specifically to me. Courage for kindness. I didn't realize how closely those two were connected. And one of the main things that it requires for someone to be kind is to be courageous. And I think of the story for all ages. And I think about how much easier it was to turn our back on someone who wasn't like us or didn't feel the same or dress the same, someone who was new. We can't do that around here because everybody's always new all the time. So we're always in a welcoming situation, and that means that even if you just came here today and have no idea what's going on, you are part of this community. You are part of what gives us courage to be kind. Last night, I had a wonderful time with my mom and my aunt and uncle and my husband. We went to see Steve Martin and Martin Short. And it was a dream of mine. I mean, it was just a no-brainer. And to be in a community where people were courageous enough to be together to laugh was really, really important to me. And I was so excited. They did this little bit where Martin Short was a ventriloquism doll, and Steve Martin was operating him. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And it came to the point, and they were reviewing different celebrities, and William Shatner came up. And I'm a William Shatner fan. And they said, this is proof in the universe that you don't have to have a healthy lifestyle or eat well to live to 91. But William Shatner did something else about a year ago that I think is really interesting, and it sort of profoundly changed him. It took incredible courage. He rode in the SpaceX rocket into space. And he is the oldest person to have gone into space. And you know, he was in Star Trek. He was all these, he's the voice of space. You know, he's the voice of thinking about space. And you know what happened when he got there? The overview effect. He pulled back and he felt this incredible sadness. He said as soon as they were in space and there was a zero gravity, everybody was doing somersaults and laughing and doing the things. And he got to the window as soon as he could, and he saw where the ship had busted through the oxygen layer of the earth and created trails that were disappearing as he watched. And he felt this overwhelming sense of sadness. And apparently this overview effect happens, and it's not uncommon among astronauts, including Sally Ride had this reaction. Essentially, when someone travels into space and views the Earth from orbit, a sense of the planet's fragility takes hold, and it causes grief. This man had been waiting to go to space for real, not on TV, his whole life, and he expected joy, and instead that courage brought him grief. And he came back to tell us about that. So just because we're courageous to be kind doesn't necessarily mean the outcome is joy for us. Sometimes our kindness is hard and it causes grief, but it's worth it because of the ripple effect. Like David said, that tiny little thing creates this ever-growing circle of love and courage. And what makes it easier for me to be kind is when I'm with other people who are trying to be brave and be kind with me. The idea that William Shatner would have gotten sad in space never occurred to me. The idea that astronauts went out there and saw where we lived and it made them feel sadness is really interesting. Aren't our emotions interesting? How they teach us about things? Not only about what we were expecting to learn, but new ideas. Understanding of the complexity of grief, the complexity of kindness. But one of the things he observed as he was in space was the water surrounding our planet. And he was overcome with the fragility of that water, the fragility of the ecosystem, and how we need to be brave and kind to our earth and our water resources. And I'm really proud, once again, about the green sanctuary work that's going on here, which is something for all ages. We can all do it. Recycling, taking care of the earth, being thoughtful about how much water we use. Silly things like turning the sink off when we're brushing our teeth can really help. Look at how many people are in this room. What if we all turned the sink off when we brushed our teeth? That's a lot of water we're saving together, right? It doesn't take that much courage to turn the water off when you're brushing your teeth, just a little bit of a memory. But we can do things together, and when we're in a collective, it makes an impact. And it causes ripples, just like this Sunday is that one drop, this one rock today. And it ripples out into Chattanooga, into Tennessee, into the world. And boy, does this world need some kindness. Not just to our natural, as we call them, resources, to our natural gifts, but also to each other. And when we practice kindness, and we do it again and again, it doesn't take as much courage because it's our habit. And when we're with people who love doing it as well, being kind and courageous together, we can cause tidal waves of kindness and love. And that is my wish for this community and this water this year, is that we create brave tidal waves of love, not just here in this building, not just on our property as we continue to love and nurture it, not just in Chattanooga, but the whole world. And people say, oh, I see where that rock hit. It hit right there at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Chattanooga. That's a good place for me to come and drop my rocks to. May it be so, and blessed be, and find good place to throw those rocks. Thank you. Yeah.
While they're coming up and getting into place, I'll just tell you our song doesn't have anything to do with water at all. But it does have to do with courage, the courage to carry on when times get hard, and courageous kindness. There's some lyrics later on in the song that say, there may be times when you wish you wasn't born, and you wake one morning just to find your courage gone. But just know that feeling only lasts for a while. So just stick with us, and we'll teach you how to smile. So here's our courageous kindness. We hope this makes you smile. This is Ease On Down the Road from the musical The Wiz.
With us and we'll show you how to smile.
Nice. Thank you, choir. Let's do a little shaflas. Yay. This is the part in our service when we share. We share our gifts, our talent, our treasure, our time, but mostly our treasure. A lot of you are visitors today or new members new people who are interested, and a few new members. I saw you. You came back after last week, thank goodness. We're going to pass the offering plate. If you are new here, please let that slide on by. And the offering will be gratefully received on this wonderful in-gathering day. Please join me in our offertory response. It's pretty special. It's the mission of this church. And if anybody asks you what this church is about, tell them we care. We give these gifts freely, committed to our mission to care. Create beloved community, awaken hearts and minds, resist injustice and act with compassion, embrace life and care for the earth. To this work, we dedicate our offering. Fun. So it is time for our closing song, We'll Build a Land. There are lyrics in the hymnal, but also in your order of service. The ones in the orders of service are a little different. We take the binary out in the order of service and just offer people together. So please rise and body your spirit both at home and here and join us in We'll Build a Land, number 121.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come
be seated. So what? This is my favorite part of the service. I get to tell you what I told you again. So what? This was ingathering. This is our ritual of the gathering of our people and our water, and what a beautiful gathering we have had today. All Rivers Run to the Sea by Kayla Rice. A blue, watery field with words in slinky curves coming home like a river to the sea. It starts with a drop, then a trickle, a burble, a rush of water bubbling towards its destination, and finally, the wide, endless sea. All rivers run to the sea. Today you brought water poured into our common bowl. Though our experiences and our wishes for this community were different, the waters mingle and satisfy our common humanity. Today you came and shared this sacred community. May you depart this sacred space, hearts filled with hope of new beginnings, a fresh start. Go forth, but return to this community where the rivers of tears may be shed, where the dry souls are watered, where your joy bubbles, where your life cup overflows, where deep in your spirit you have found this place a home, and all the rivers from here run to the sea. We are a collective place, a place where we make the impact that hits the water that creates the ripple. We need each other to do that. I'd like to invite Judith. Do you have a... Okay. It seemed like the right time. I'm always, if you don't know, I'm a little improvisational. You're wrong. So it seemed like the right time to invite you up for the, I assume you're going to talk about water. Oh, mostly? Something? No, that's all right. Justice.
I'm going to talk about, although I did not know, the view from space.
Synchronicity. Oh, wait. Up the switch.
Green.
Now it's green.
Okay. Welcome. And I just want to remind those of you who've been here on previous Sundays and those of you who haven't, that after the service, we will have a little workshop about what we can do about the environmental crisis that we're facing. And so today, the quote from the Social Justice Committee is this: I don't really consider climate change a political issue. I consider it to be a moral issue. And that's by Al Gore. So if you want to join us, we'll be here after church, and we'll have a good discussion.
Thank you. There's a lot going on, a lot of rocks being dropped in the water, and I want to bring up the compliment jar. So the youth came up with this idea, I don't know, it's been about 6-8 weeks ago, and it's kind of has the same compliments in it did 6 or 8 weeks ago. These are for everyone. This is a way to make a ripple in someone's life in this community. This is a way, if you need a little pick-me-up, it's in here. As a matter of fact, the first compliment I received from the compliment jar stays in my book, and it says, "The hero is you." And I keep this with me. This community isn't just here for you to give to. It's here for you to receive from, to feel grounded and to feel a special place once in a while, a break from the big world. So don't forget the compliment jar. It needs added to and taken from. So I want to thank the youth for this little way of rippling through our community. That's my reminder for all of us. And now I would like to also invite Reverend Pam Johnson up again to extinguish our chalice, and we are going to read the chalice extinguishing words together. We extinguish this flame, but keep the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. And now possibly my other favorite time during the service is announcements. Are there any community announcements? I thought you were going to say, I thought you were going to sneeze. I almost said bless you very loud. I do have one. If you're a visitor today and you didn't fill out the little clipboard, Farron would love to talk to you about our church and filling out the clipboard so you can come back and get more information about us. I want to make a little announcement about the newsletter. If you're not getting the newsletter, sign up. But here's what I really know. If you're not reading the newsletter, I know who you are. You need to read it because there's so much going on lately and so many exciting things, and they're just multifaceted community. There's a social justice meeting. There's a youth service project here today, some pizza, some snacks, a board meeting downstairs. There's tons going on. And so the only way for you to know all those things is to look at the newsletter. And don't forget the social justice. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. This place is more than just us bringing water. It's starting to percolate up and become active. And Sally, come on up and give us an announcement. There you go. One of those things that you might see. No, it was on. What of it?
One of those things that you might have seen in the newsletter, if you read the newsletter, is we are continuing our Dinners in Homes potlucks. So if you want to sign up to host, awesome, you can do that anytime. But also, we have a few dinners that you can sign up to go to. All you do is pick the date and place. It's on a table in the back in the lobby, what you're going to bring, and then you get to know some people better over dinner. How lovely is that? We had our first one, and it was awesome. It was so great. Go sign up.
Rev Mandy briefly mentioned this, but I want to make sure everyone knows every time we have a multi-gen service this year, the Religious Education Committee is inviting all of the kids and their families and anybody else who wants to join us to stay for a service project. So today, immediately after church, there will be pizza for anybody staying to work, and then we'll be going out in the yard and working on cleaning things up in the yard, pulling weeds, that sort of thing. So I hope that some of you will join us. Thank you.
You never know. Come to potlucks. Read the newsletter. Thank you. Observe the beautiful art on the walls. Again, we dedicated it last week. This is art done by our community. Many of these things are for sale, and the profits, most of it goes to this church. It's a fundraiser, so if you see something you can't live without, get it. If you want to get in a bidding war on that back moon thing with me, I keep saying, like, we could get more money raised for that thing if you want to get competitive about it. But I bought it before it even got hung up. So let me know. It was so wonderful. Look around this place. Look around at all the faces. Look around at all the people and the kindness. Share a smile. Have a cookie and some coffee after church. We're so glad you came. And we can't wait to see you again on another Sunday. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.